Hello everyone, we have a driving test here. The video, it cut out, and I don't know why. At some point, I don't know, towards the very end, but anyway, um, most of the test route, most of it was completed anyway. But I've got a little bit at the end where we're talking to the candidate, which if you stick around, you'll find that you'll see what they've got to say anyway. So the test is underway, and what they've done now is that they've started the manoeuvre first thing. That's before they've even left the test centre. So what's happened is that the examiner's just said, right, we're going to start first of all with the manoeuvre. So we'll just let you to reverse park into a bay. So what you've got to be able to do is to reverse park the car into the bay. You can choose whichever one that you want. Pick the easiest one. That's the thing to do. What the examiner's looking for, of course, is there's three things. One thing I always say, there are three things. That is the car under control? That's the first thing. Is the car under control? The other one is, are you reasonably accurate? In other words, are you within the two white lines? And the third one is, are you paying attention to what's happening all the way around you? Now, if you end up, say, for example, not being within the two white lines, for example, you may be just over it, what you can do is you can manoeuvre the car forwards and then you can correct it and come back again. It is not a problem. You don't have to ask the examiner's permission, you simply just do it. That's all you do. You do get a driver fault for that, but it will not fail you. That's the thing to remember, it won't fail you. So you just got to do what is necessary, that's all you've got to do. So as I said, this video, it cut out towards the very end of the driving test, but if you hang around you'll be able to see what the candidate said about the test anyway. So the test is underway and we're away. So there we are. Notice how that white car there come, they do come quite quickly up to the end of the road. If we're going straight ahead, then of course we're not indicating. So we've kept to the left hand side, which is correct, and then we followed it round, and a car that's over to the left hand side of us that's approaching the roundabout just looks over like most of them do, and they just try to beat you out. That's all they do. But there's nothing wrong with what's happened there. It's just that that person in the white car that you just saw coming towards the roundabout was going a little bit on the fast side. So what we've got to do here is there's the bus in front. Now the bus may make some frequent stops, and it's just a matter of being aware of that. Now if the bus stops and it's safe to overtake it, then by all means do so. Let's have a look and see what's happening here. Yeah, so the bus is pulling in. So what we need to do now is just position the car just left of that white line. Just need to go over to it. So that means now we get a really good view of what's going on. Okay, well the bus now is moved off, so it doesn't matter, that problem is over, but the thing is it could stop again. The candidate is keeping a nice distance away from the bus in front. That's good, that is. You want to always keep away from these vehicles. As soon as you go too close to them, you can't see what's going on in front of you. See, what happens is that what the bus will face, you will have to face as well. But by keeping well back, you'll be fine. In some parts of Wrexham now, they have lifted the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. Not on all roads, but on some of them. Just down the road along this pond here is a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, I'm afraid, anyway. But just down by the test centre is also a 20 speed limit. So it does make it a little bit difficult when I've done that there. They've introduced the 20 limit. then they've taken it away, and then you don't know where they've taken it away from. So you've got to keep your eyes peeled, I'm afraid, and seeing where it is that the speed limit actually occurs. So we've just gone straight ahead there at the roundabout. So to go straight ahead on that particular roundabout, you would need to use the right-hand lane. There's no markings on this roundabout, as you can see. So therefore, left-hand lane. See how the candidate's keeping well into the left-hand side, following the profile of the roundabout round, which is the correct thing to do. Gets a bit tight here sometimes with the cars parked up out here, there and everywhere, but so far, well, there's nothing much there, to tell you the truth, nothing there, so that's okay. So we're turning left into the town, again keeping well in, that's good. Check your mirrors again. So before you, as you've turned into that road there, so you're going through the mirrors first, your signal, slowing down, changing gear and getting the car around. Now as you then go into that new road, again check your mirrors again. You need to be aware of what's happening around you at all times. Again, keeping into the left hand side. There's no one there at the crossing, so there's no need to worry about those lights changing anytime soon. Makes it difficult sometimes when there's vehicles like this parked on the side of the road. They're delivery vehicles, so they've got to drop off, I'm afraid, the goods wherever is it that they're servicing. So I'm afraid it's one of those things you just have to cope with, I'm afraid. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay, so the lights are on red, so again slowing the car down, but first of all mirrors before you do that. Okay, so we've slowed the car down. We've slowed it down in such a way that then we can anticipate the lights changing and then move off again, which the candidate's done absolutely brilliantly well. What they've done is they haven't rushed into it. What they've done is they've slowed down, then they've gone into it. That's what's happened there. So it means that they're able to deal with it. So we're going to be turning right by the look of it. So again, the mirrors, the signal. And this is a bit where you've got to just give way just there. You can't see the angle here, but you've got to give way to the traffic that's coming there from the left anyway. If you're pausing, it doesn't matter about the handbrake. If you're pausing for a moment, it doesn't matter. You can just hold it there on the foot brake for a moment. But if a pause has turned into a wait, then you need to apply your handbrake. We've got a safe gap, or we have an opportunity, or it's clear, which means now that we can move away. Notice how we're not going right up behind the vehicle in front. We are slowing down in plenty of time. We've thought about these gaps whereby these driveways to these businesses that are on the left. So where possible, what you want to try and do is not follow the vehicle too closely in front, and if need be, try and keep away so that if there's a driveway, you're not actually blocking it, if you can help it. I mean, sometimes it's totally unavoidable. It can catch you out. Even the best of us can be caught out by it. Okay, so ahead at the roundabout. Set, slide into first gear, get in the car ready, get ready. So the lights have changed and away we go. So that's why we stayed in the right hand lane, because we were turning right further up. The thing is with Wrexham, I don't think it's a particularly horrible place to take a driving test. I really don't. I think some of the roads there, they're all right. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with them at all. I think some of the roundabouts you've just got to probably study and probably try to get your head round a few times, really. But that's about it, really. There's, as far as that's concerned, that's about it. There's nothing else, really, to tell you the truth. It's just dealing with situations that just crop up. That's all it is. It's nothing more than that, to tell you the truth. Which is the same pretty much anywhere. I mean, if you look at some of my other videos, you could be, especially the ones over in, say, Chester. Well, it's not so much Chester, it's Ellesmere Port, but the same type of roads. As long as you can always remember, mirrors first, your signal, then your manoeuvre, you'll be alright. It's only the basic things that you need to be aware of. For example, going straight ahead at a roundabout, say second exit, then you should be in the left-hand lane, unless that is the road signs indicate otherwise. That's where you should be. If the road markings say that you need to be in the right-hand lane, then you're expected to read the road signs. You see, at the beginning of the driving test, the examiner will remind you to pay attention to the traffic signs, and please pay attention to the road markings, as they are there to help you. So you must need to pay attention to them anyway. If you look at the top of the screen on the left hand side there, you see the date, 1st of the 1st 24. For some reason, my camera that I'm using, when I changed the batteries, I didn't reset it at all, and it just went to that date. So that isn't the date that this test actually took place. It didn't. It was on another one. I can't remember the exact date of it without looking in my diary. But the thing is, that is not the correct date. Neither is the time, because it's not on that date, and it wouldn't be at 8:30 at night anyway, that's for sure. And it wouldn't be this light at 8:30 at night on the 1st of January. So you get right to the end of the road. Get right to the end and have a look both sides. If it's clear, then continue on your way. And what you've got to try to remember is, when you're dealing with these junctions, is that what you're doing is you're having a look to see if you've got to stop. You're not stopping to have a look. So as you approach the junction, what you need to be able to do is to slow the car right down. And what you do, you're having a look to see if you've got to stop. These chicanes here, this is traffic calming measures, whereby that Ranger over there has to give way to you. During your driving test, you'll be asked to stop quite a few times on the left hand side. So what will happen is that the examiner will ask you to pull up and stop on the left hand side about 4 or 5 times during your driving test. So what they're looking for is, of course, their mirrors first, then your signal if need be, and then pulling up and stopping somewhere that's safe and convenient. So don't just stick it across someone's driveway, and don't put it in a bus stop or anything like that. It's just a matter of just thinking about it, that's all it is. During your driving test, the examiner, what they'll do is that they will engage in what I call small talk, like say for example, what will you be doing if you weren't here today? Do you work, or are you at university, or what are you doing? It's just small talk. It's designed actually to try to help you try to relax a little bit. I don't think there's anything worse than probably a driving test to wind anybody up. And the DVSA, they have taken steps to rectify that, thank goodness. Wasn't like it was many years ago where you couldn't say anything. There was just that awful silence in the car, and it was just terrible, it was. But today, of course, it's a little bit different. You've got a little bit more user-friendly examiners. Thank goodness. It's one of the things that the DVSA have got right. With the current system, as far as booking driving tests are concerned, they haven't. But as far as the way that they are conducting everything, that's fine. Okay, so just here what's happened is the examiner's just asked them to pull up stop on the left hand side, somewhere safe, convenient. Got a bit too close to the car in front, so obviously we have to back up to get away again. But it doesn't matter, it's not a problem as long as you're looking where you're going, being aware of it. These are some of the mistakes that you may make on a driving test. And don't forget, anyone that tells you they don't make any mistakes, well, of course, they all know the answer to that. There's no two ways about it. So we're positioned here nicely. We keep it away from the car in front. We can see everything that's going on, and then away we go. Keep an eye on the rear view mirrors, particularly your right hand door mirror as well, and away you go. And look at that for a nice clear road. I mean, that's great, that is. But as I say, anything can happen, and it's a matter of can you deal with it? I mean, some people just have that run through whereby nothing happens, nothing comes to challenge them, nothing whatsoever. So pull up stopping again. Got to keep a car's length away from the car in front. Don't go right up to it. What you've got to do is just keep away. This is what they call the angle start. So the examiner will just ask you to move away. Don't forget that the manoeuvre was done at the very beginning of this driving test. So you on this test now, on this bit now, you won't see another manoeuvre done. You won't see it because it's already been completed. Okay, so again, going to the end of the road. Of course, always remember going through that mirrors first, your signal routine, bringing the speed right the way down to virtually nothing, making sure you're checking both ways, and then away you go again when you're clear to do so. That's all you've got to do. Just whenever you're clear, you can go. And then as we've moved out of the road there, just mirrors again, especially the interior mirror. You need to see what's at the back of you. You need to be aware of what's happening all the way around you. So approaching the roundabout. Again, being aware of the mirrors. It's all about, are you paying attention to what's happening around you? As you can see on this test, I mean, exactly what is it that's so difficult? You're only just driving a car. There's just nothing really that's what I call really daunting and really frightening there. Really isn't. You're just simply going for a drive. That's all you're doing. you may be asked to follow the Satnav at the beginning of the driving test, or it might be whereby they start off giving you directions and then you're halfway through your driving test, and then they'll switch the Satnav on, and then they'll just ask you to follow that for the rest of the driving test. That's all they'll do. Or it could be, where you could follow the signs, so follow the signs for wherever really. That's all it is. Following for Chester, following for Oswestry, anything like that they could ask you to follow. So we've just been dealing with a few roundabouts there. Again, that's another pull up and stop on the left hand side of the road. When you've pulled up on the left hand side of the road, make sure that you have cancelled that indicator. Don't leave that clicking away, whatever you do. Make sure that that is cancelled. The next thing is the examiner will ask you to move away when it's safe to do so. So mirrors, and what you need to do is always remember that blind spot check. It is most important, particularly if you're driving with your parents, whenever you're practicing with your parents. So if you're watching this video and you are going out for a drive with your parents, just get them to say, look, remind, if I don't look over my right shoulder before I move away, remind me, tell me, so you drum it into your head. If you're a parent, you're teaching your child to drive, your offspring, then make sure checking the right shoulder before you move away. The blind spot is the bit that you can't see in the mirrors. So very shortly I shall be making a video covering that very subject, because a lot of people, once they've passed the driving test, they don't bother with the blind spot. They just check the mirrors and drive off, because they think that there's no need to check over the right shoulder because they can't see a need for it. So I always what I do is trying to actually demonstrate exactly where the blind spot is and what you should be looking out for in particular, and then it'll become a little bit more sense. And then we have another stop again. So again, move off whenever it's safe to do so. Move off whenever you're ready. Okay, make sure you cancel the indicator. And then you can move away, provided you're safe to do so. So there's nothing much going on with this particular driving test. As you can see, there's nothing there that's really what I call really daunting and really bad. There isn't. What you're doing is just simply just driving the car and dealing with normal things like roundabouts and junctions as you would do normally. There you are, and that is it. So with the driving test, you've done it. Have you got any advice for anyone that's taken the driving test?
Just keep as calm as you can. If possible, try and get a morning one, so you don't have time for your thoughts to ruminate a little bit. Just kind of go for it. Make sure always keep on top of your observation. Always mirrors, blind spot. For the most part, if you're ready for your test, everything else will be alright usually.
A lot of people are always worried about the examiner. What was the examiner like with you?
Oh, examiner was lovely, absolutely lovely. He you know, he was just there to do his job. They want you to pass. They don't want to fail you. He just come here. He's, you know, bit of conversation with them. You'll find how lovely they are.